It's time for the podcast, which is all about the world of marketing on television through TV shopping networks and infomercials. Are we on the air? I'm your host, Shawn Wilsey, and for over 29 years, I've hosted shows on cable shopping networks, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, and now I want to be your guide into this world, explaining how it works, why it works, what doesn't work, and introduce you to the people who are making it the success that it is today. In preparation for this show, we had a plan. Like it's a team. I had a big plan that we were going to do a breakdown of Black Friday, how Black Friday went on the big cable shopping networks. And we're still going to do that. We will get to that. But the show's taking a right turn for the first part of it, probably the bulk of it, because I made a mistake last night. Well, a mistake that will change the direction of this show, so maybe for the better. I don't know. I remembered about 2 years ago, on day after Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving, I put on the Jim Bakker Show at 9 a.m., as everybody does, right? Because the man is... Let me step back for a second. Because I've been telling people for almost 30 years, if you want to learn how to sell a product on television, the best thing you can do is watch a televangelist. Now, I'm not grouping into this some of the very fine, legitimate ministers, priests, and preachers on television that do a great job, but I'm putting into the bucket the infamous televangelists. And Jim Bakker is certainly one of those. So I saw his show a couple years ago. How many of you even knew that he was back? Oh, yeah, he's back. This is the Jim Bakker that in the late 80s fell into the scandal when he was, after he slept with, a secretary or someone and got caught. And then it was revealed that he had this theme park, Heritage USA, and they had timeshares they were selling. And they oversold their timeshares, much publicized trial. And this was such big news that this was like leading the evening news every night. This was huge news. And I've thought many times, if this happened today, blip on the radar. I really don't think it would be the huge news that it was in 1988. I think it was when all this was going down. And honestly, I don't criticize the man. I mean, that much for the timeshare deal. Every timeshare ever has oversold. He got caught. So did the law come down on him maybe a little hard? Yeah, probably. He served his time. In fact, he served it in a medical facility, a federal, what do they call it, a federal medical center. It's a prison, but it's there for people that, need psychological help too. Anyway, in Minnesota, not far from where I was living in Minneapolis at the time. So he served his time, did it admirably. During that time, he and Tammy Faye broke up. They got divorced. He remarried. And now Jim, with his new wife, they've adopted some children who are now grown. And he's back on television with the Jim Bakker Show. And he's not selling timeshares anymore. What he's selling are full-on condos and houses in a place called Morningside near Branson, Missouri. I'm pausing because I just, it's the unmitigated gall, I guess I want to say. I remember reading somewhere, someone pointed out that Jim Bakker should not be in the television ministry, he should be in the real estate business. And I guess maybe that's true. He's good at selling. He's good at selling real estate. But anyway, so he runs this show, Jim Bakker Show, and it's under the guise of being ministerial, being a television preacher. Well, around Thanksgiving, his show takes a little turn. So let's just take a little listen to his show from, what's the date on this? November 20, where's my calendar? November 23rd. So that would have been, November 23rd would have been 2 days before Thanksgiving. Yes. The title of the show was The Bakker Family Christmas Extravaganza. Doesn't that sound nice? I'll bet it's the whole family roasting marshmallows over an open fire, telling Christmas stories, having a laugh or two. I'll bet that's it, right? Well, that's pretty.
Hello, and welcome to a special edition of the Jim Bakker Family Show.
Sounds nice.
Today is our Christmas extravaganza.
Ooh, goody.
We're celebrating the reason for the season.
Amen.
We have great gifts and special deals for you and your family.
Wait. We're celebrating the reason for the season. I assume, since this is a ministerial show, we were going to focus on the reason for the season. What did she just say? Something about gifts? Not quite the reason for the season. Let's continue. This is still under the opening animation.
With words of encouragement for the season.
That's better.
Our co-hosts today are Lori Crable, Mondo de la Vega.
These, by the way, I guess I can let that play. Those are their children. They're adopted children.
John Woodall. And I'm Tammy Sue Baker. And now, direct from Gray Street at Morningside, USA, here's your host, Pastor Jim and Lori Baker.
Thank you, Tammy Sue Baker.
So the family's gathered around a table, semicircle table. They have a studio audience there. I think, now that I think about it, I don't remember seeing, that could be canned applause. I don't remember seeing any people. Anyway, so show's about to begin. Reason for the season, why we're here.
Yes. And my wife is here with me today.
Yes.
Back where she belongs.
Thank you.
And we're happy to have you here. We're celebrating Christmas, and Thanksgiving is just hours away. And we're happy to have you all watching. And we've got a lot to do on the program today. And can I announce the biggest thing I think today?
Absolutely.
Is
You have to.
No, one of the
Yes,
big things.
it
They're all
is.
big.
Oh, boy.
But the first time
Yes?
in months, you can order 30-year shelf life food right now.
That's right.
We are minute 20 into a show that was promising us the reason for the season. So you can order 60 meal prepared pantry bucket, $165. I'm reading from the screen. So you can buy a bucket of food for the end times. He wasted no time in starting the sales pitch. Oh, and it gets better. Listen to this.
For a few minutes, you can order it.
I have to say, I have been working behind the scenes for months on this, honestly, with our food manufacturers who have provided the Jim Bakker Show with our 30-year shelf life food. And so we finally have, I asked them, I begged them, I said, is there anything that we can do to help get the food in time for Christmas?
Honk your horn.
So they did, but there are only, so they created a batch special for this broadcast. There's only 340 buckets that they gave us available.
Okay, I got to stop this, and let's just analyze what's happened so far. First off, Jim Bakker has already said you can only buy this for a limited time, for a few minutes, I think he said. So, hard sell there. The daughter worked with the vendors to make this available to you. This is every home shopping cliche wrapped up in a show on religious stations around this country under the guise of being a religious broadcast. Have we heard God mentioned once? Jesus? Christmas? Hello?
And they worked so hard to pull this together.
But we're
for
going
us.
to do this for the next few months,
Yes,
God willing.
That's right.
And the price of the food goes up in a couple months.
It does.
Again, TV shopping cliche. The price goes up. Better order now. Price is going up. Oh, my. I lose my head over this because I work in an industry. I've spent 30 years of my life where I have FTC training. I have FCC, FDA rules and laws I have to live by. And then you have people that can get it. Well, again, he got in trouble a couple years ago for Silver Solution. And he turns his religious show. See, he can use the ultimate high power as a reason to buy. God wants you to buy this, pretty much is what he's saying.
Yes.
They just said it's another price coming.
Yes.
Inflation, whatever it's called, I
There you
don't know.
go.
But all
Yeah.
I know is price going up.
Yeah. Well, it's affecting everything. I mean, we had massive calls with them, the industry of the supplies, the plastic, even down to the labels, because
See?
we've been hearing about the
See?
paper shortage.
Yep.
All these things are affecting the
All of
food
it.
supply and the manufacturers who provide the shelf life, the 30-year shelf life food to us. But I am so excited because I said we have to do something. This is the mission of Morningside and the Jim Bakker Show. We have to do something
sell
to continue
buckets
to
of
help
food.
people
So
get
I am so
prepared.
excited, and
I
I want you to
know,
go to your phone
yes.
right now. Only how many people?
I have 340 buckets. That's all. Literally,
So
that's
it can-
all that I
and-
have.
And you get this bucket and put it.
Go to your phones right now. I only have 300 buckets. Oh, my gosh.
It in your house with your other buckets.
That's right.
And then maybe next month we can have another
Yes.
group.
Maybe.
But
And
we're
that's
going
what
to
we're doing,
offer
yes.
them as these are fresh.
Yes.
I mean, they're freshly made food.
That's right.
But they're 30-year shelf life.
3 minutes in.
food.
Yes, that's right.
And
Reason
this
for
is
the season.
survival food. And I'll tell you what, if you hear what I'm going to preach on next week or so.
Next week or so. Yeah, I might get some preaching next week or so. Can't make any promises. We might get to some preaching if I don't have buckets of eggs to sell. Of course, they're showing pictures through all of this of the delicious food.
You may want to order your buckets.
Yes.
But the problem is we don't even dare say it anymore because we can't get the food.
Can't get the
right.
food.
Yeah,
The
it's been
food
very
company
hard.
said we're not even letting any new customers come
That's
in.
right, yes. And so what I want to say right now, which I think is so important, is as the orders are coming in, I have an entire team literally just tracking it down. When the buckets are sold out, we will let you know when you call or if you go to the website. And actually, if you go to the website, they're going to redirect you to the 800 number, which is 1-888.
What? Huh? If I go to the website, you're going to tell me to call this number? Okay.
988-1588. So all the orders will have to go through our 800 number for this special so we can track it down. But then once we
Then
go
what?
through, because we know once we go through this limited quantity,
Yep,
if
limited
you
quantities.
would like to get added to a waiting list, so then
Oh, wait
we
list.
can assess it with the food manufacturers.
I can't listen to her for another second on this. 4 minutes in. Remember what the Tammy Sue said at the outset? Reason for the season is what we're celebrating here. Well, apparently that's the reason for the season. So let's jump ahead a little bit because I'll bet it gets better, doesn't it? Let's see. Let's see. I'll bet if I go 19 minutes in, I'll bet he's preaching by now. But we're gonna hear some good reason for the season chat. Again, just it's mind-boggling. And again, I don't want to throw him in with, because there's some very good people who, when my dad was very ill, last 6 months or so of his life, there were some ministers on television that he enjoyed watching, and he was never a real religious person, but it gave him some peace. And so I don't want to necessarily, say that they're all doing this because they're not. It's just you have these bad eggs like this that have decided it's time to just turn our preaching into
Just a few left
shopping
now.
shows.
And after today, they will be gone.
It is a snow globe with a little prayer mountain chapel inside of it.
Or forever wait.
Forever
It may
wait.
never be back. It may be back next Christmas. I don't know. I doubt it. It's so expensive to make this kind of thing. People don't understand. You have to have it all tooled and every. You know what I mean? It's not just you just say here. It's a big job. It has to be just specially made.
So he's a minister, but yet he's also an expert in how snow globes are made. I find that fascinating. I wonder where in his schooling that they taught, here's how you make snow globes.
This is something you don't get in just any store. And, of course, the Prayer Mountain one is original for us, and we love it so much.
What a great gift
It is
to your friendship, someone that you love. I'm a believer that gifts mean a lot. They speak volumes. I love gift cards.
Wow. That's a big statement to make. I'm a believer that gifts mean a lot. Wow. Remind me to use that. That's good material.
But nothing says more than a gift that you give. It's investment that you go out and buy, purchase, or just donate. But I want to tell you something. When someone takes the time to go get a card and write something, that tells you how much they love you. And when they bring a gift just like this over here, it's simple, but it's a reminder that you're not alone. You know how many lonely people are out there during this season? People are
It's almost like good cop, bad cop. Now he's taking on a different role, and you'll see good salespeople on television do that. There's a time you need to tug at the heartstrings to sell. It's not price. It's tug at the heartstrings, and that's what he's doing. So anyway, that is, if you want to watch the whole thing, just, knock yourselves out. It is the Bakker Family Christmas Extravaganza. I'm actually going to give them a plug, JimBakkerShow.com. I can't believe I'm giving them a plug. It is show number 4276, aired on November 23rd. But quickly, tough act to follow, I know. But I do just want to point out a couple things because Black Friday weekend has come and gone, and goodness knows that the television shopping networks put a lot of preparation into those events. Now, I am not a betting man by nature, but if you had asked me to bet a month's salary what QVC will have as their TSV, their Today's Special Value, on Black Friday, I would have taken that bet, and I would have said it would be the Bose Wave Radio, because it has been for as many years as I can remember. Well, you would have won that bet, and I would have lost, because this year it was an HP laptop. So, HSN, what do they have as one of their biggest deals for the Black Friday event? A different configuration of an HP laptop. We're starting to see the effects of the two networks becoming one, where they have an opportunity to really differentiate themselves and be two different voices and do two different things. They each decided, or I shouldn't say the corporate overlords of both of them said, let's get HP computers out there. Interesting, Dell was nowhere to be seen, and you really don't see them much on television anymore. Now, could the lack of Bose be a sign of the supply chain? Possibly. I really don't know for sure. Sales for the Bose Wave Radio every year and listen, I'm an owner of one. I first heard of Bose Wave Radio in person on a trip to New York City back 15 years ago probably. I was staying at the Ritz-Carlton on Battery Park, and they had Wave radios in the room, and my God, I knew from that moment I had to have one, but I wasn't ready to spend $500 for one. A couple years ago, finally broke down. Home Shopping had it as their special. But they make you wait for it. You know what's going to come around. It's not a special that they run all the time. And herein lies the problem, and I hope it's not a sign of the new direction that they're taking at QVC and HSN. The HP laptop that they had as their TSV on Black Friday had been available for days. They had been presenting it for days leading up to it. Joseph Siegel is the founder of QVC. His son Marv mentioned on a previous broadcast, previous episode here, that the TSV was invented, because QVC invented the deal of the day as an item you had for one day only, price goes up. They are destroying the integrity of the Today's Special Value when they run it for 4 days leading up to the launch of it. Destroying any credibility at all with that. In fact, it got even worse. They had numerous TSVs running Black Friday weekend. So now, by my count, I think I counted 4 TSVs running at the same time. So, well, what really is the best value of the day then? You're telling me that today's Special Value is the best value of the day. Oh, but wait, there's another. Oh, but wait, there's another. Oh, but wait, there's another. Now, they weren't the first to do this. So I don't want to pin the blame on them, but it says a lot when the company who invented the idea of a one-day-only special has decided to wash our hands of it and buy it for days if you want. Where's the integrity? Where's the credibility now? I can't believe them if they tell me this is a one-day-only value. That is a big black eye on QVC and HSN. And HSN was just as guilty. They've been running the HP for a few days now. But QVC, being the ones who originated the idea of the TSV, that I think is a huge black eye on their name, on who they are. I watched for 2 straight days pretty much QVC. And in years past, I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I finished, to a large degree, my Christmas shopping by watching QVC for 2 days after Thanksgiving. I bought one thing this year. It was HP computer, rinse, repeat. Backup power supply car starter, rinse, repeat. It was a lot of the same old, all day for days. So the variety was definitely missing this year, and I hope that's not, well, again, to use the term, I hope that's not a black eye on them down the road, that, this will be remembered as, they're the year that, boy, I don't want to say they blew Black Friday, but it was definitely not what it used to be. Well, I hope you will check me out on social media, Twitter and Facebook, where you can find me under Shawn Wilsey, full name, and on Instagram at @SWilsey. Thank you for downloading this edition of Are We On The Air. Don't forget, please, like, comment, and share. Let other people know about this. And subscribe if you're on one of the fantastic podcast apps. Subscribe. This has been a King Bobby production.
Yes, I know, Travis. That's why we give such bargains.